On today's episode 13 of Sculpt and Create, we're stepping into the world of movement, art, and reinvention with somebody who truly embodies it all. My guest, Laetitia, is a powerhouse of artistry, an artist, model, ballerina, acrobat, yoga teacher, personal trainer, and author. She started her journey at Paris Opera Ballet, great stages worldwide as a freelance circus artist, and for the past 6 years has made her mark as a renowned art model. Her path is decorated with incredible highlights, from winning international ballet and circus competitions to performing area skills for an audience of over 20,000 at the Calgary Stampede to modeling for Valentino and being featured in Vogue. She's published 5 fine art books, traveled to 87 countries, and continues to merge fitness, creativity, and storytelling through her work. Right now, she's fresh off the release of her newest photo book, Unseen, and is teaching aspiring artists and models how to carve their own path as freelancers and creators. This episode is about artistry in motion, resilience, and the power of evolving your craft. So let's get into it. Here's my conversation with Laetitia. Welcome to Sculpt and Create, where fitness fuels creativity in helping artists, entertainers, and creatives towards their journey in physical, personal, and career growth. I'm your host, Trea Da Fit Artist, and who I have with me is Laetitia. She's a model, ballet dancer, yoga instructor, and fitness trainer. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
All right, glad you can make it. And before we get into everything, let everybody know where they can know more about you and see your work and so forth from there.
Oh, well, you can find everything about me on my website, laetitiamodel.com, and on my Instagram, Laetitia_channel_model. Yeah, that's where I'm the most active, my Instagram, but I'm, of course, on every channel as Laetitia Model.
Okay, cool. All right, so let's get into it. So tell us about what do you do currently right now?
Currently, I am a freelance art model. I travel the world. I go to photographers to create art via photography. So because my background is ballet and like you said, yoga with yoga teaching. So my posing for photography is mostly based on ballet poses and yoga poses.
Okay. So can you explain what is freelance modeling? You got
Freelance modeling, it means that you are not attached to an agency. You do your own bookings. So you deal straight with the photographers.
Okay. All right. So basically you don't have an agency work, I guess, pulling the strings and telling you what you need to do and where and all that like that.
Exactly. You set your own rules, your own fees, and you decide when you work, when you don't work, if you want to take the offers or not. So you have the full freedom to accept or refuse the jobs that come.
Okay. It's interesting. So did you start out as a freelance model or were you with an agency before?
No, I've never been with an agency. I started freelance and I stayed like that. Yeah.
Okay. And the reason why I asked that because when I think, like I was telling you before, when I was my sister, she was a model at one point too, and I think she was with an agency, and I don't know what she was doing when she was in Chicago, but I was always usually you under the impression that you go through an agency first. So yes. John Casablanca comes to mind. I don't know what other LA modeling and type fields and stuff like that. So how does one get into that and start say, okay, you have the people who want to be a model and you hear the Instagram model type thing, but like how do they get into being a model and freelance where they line themselves up with a photographer and get themselves out there in a way as if they were with agents?
Yeah, so if you want to be a freelance model, you have to do a lot of your own marketing, your own branding, and have a very clear vision of the style of photos the style of jobs you want to look for, and basically build a portfolio according to that. So after you only attract the jobs you're looking for.
Okay. All right. So with you being a freelance model, like what was the lane that you wanted to go down? Like what was your vision in saying, okay, I'm gonna do this model, but I want to do it this way. I want to have this look, this style, this personality. What was your thinking when you got into the space?
I'm gonna be really honest with you. It was not a plan of mine at all to
Okay.
become a model.
Mm.
I was an artist acrobat performing with
Okay.
aerial hoop and silks. And one day, one photographer reached out to me, and a professional photographer reached out and asked if I would be interested in a professional photo shoot with my hoop. And I was like, yeah, sure. And he said, oh, maybe we also take, I see you do ballet. We are going to maybe take some ballet photos too. And it started like that, like out of not nowhere. Like I never thought to be a model, but he reached out. We did the photo shoot. He edited the photos. He published the photos, and he is still a very well-known art photographer.
Mm.
So when he published the photos, it kind of made a snowball effect that a lot of photographers reached out to me that was following him and wanted the same type of photos that were come under the gender of artistic photography. So
Mm.
based
Okay.
on dance and based on artistic poses.
Okay. And it's funny, man. Like you can be doing one thing and never been thinking of another lane until it just presents itself. And then it opens up a whole world of new opportunities that you never even thought possible or even wanted to do, and I think that speaks to us a lot. So and going into that, wow, like I understand how you got to this spot. So what made you transition from the yoga, ballet, and so forth, and got into it and just said, not to say you fully left it alone,
Mm.
but let's say you fully more into the modeling thing and so forth. What led that transition?
Yeah, the transition was like I was well, the ballet word is really hard on the body and the acrobatics too. So
Mm.
it's not something you can do all your life. And there is a moment when you need to feel your body and know when is the right moment to exit the stage.
No.
And it kind of felt like that for me. I also felt like as an artist that I had danced what I wanted. I did the shows I wanted. I felt quite fulfilled artistically with what I had done. And I felt like, and I really enjoyed photography. And I felt like this was a great transition for me to still use my skills
Right.
and still be creative and and still travel because travel was a big part of my life also as an artist. And yeah, I love the creativity of it. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do that full time. I like it. Yeah, it came a bit naturally. I had a contract that finished, like a 1 year contract with a show.
Mm.
I was like, okay, that's it. Like I'm now going full time with the modeling. And I had a lot of offers too. I knew that I had enough jobs to be able to do that full time.
Okay. Okay. So now, and that's something I didn't think about with acrobats and so forth. I would think yoga is helping you to be limber, so you can definitely go a longer times. Like, is it a certain age you get to when you have to like think of different things other than the acrobats and ballet and so forth?
Yeah, like in Europe, the official retirement age when you're in a ballet company or an official dance company is 42 for women. That's usually like around that age you start to feel your body from all the years of training
Okay.
dancing. And I mean, some acrobats in the circus world are definitely going older. Some are still performing in their 50s.
Mm.
After it's a case by case. It depends how you feel.
Okay. Okay. So it's very similar to sports, pretty much in the sense, like a guy in basketball have a certain retirement age, and even football they got even
Yeah.
shorter lifespan than that. Okay, I understand that. All right, so now you have been doing it. I think from what I read, since 2017 or 18. Is that
18, I
correct?
started photography.
Okay, and so what type of things have you been doing within that in that time span, and like what has it led you to?
What it has led me to, I traveled a lot. I've been on a lot of magazine covers and features. I have a model for Valentino in Rome, in Italy. I've been in Vogue. I've been doing a lot of things. I also now started posing for artists like painters and sculptors. And they are now I have my own sculptors. So it's fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
You talking about like you sculpting or people sculpting you?
I mean, me posing
Okay.
and the sculptor is sculptor my poses.
Okay. All right. Okay. That's what's up, man. How has that experience been where somebody you posing? Because I think about that. I have seen videos or TV shows or something like that where somebody sculpting somebody and they standing for posing for a long time. So talk
It's
about that process. How is that? How are you able to
it's a
pose for hours at a time like that?
it's a very different process because you basically first choose a pose. And then you need to stay like with one sculptor. I worked 3 days to finish the sculpture, and yeah, I had to be all 3 days in that same pose.
Yeah.
So 8 hours a day. Of course, sometimes you can release some parts because let's say he focuses on the fingers, so you don't need to really do the feet, or
Yeah.
he focuses on your back, and you
Mhm.
can relax some body parts according to what he was working on. But sometimes for the full body tension, you need to be in the full pose quite a lot because it's changing the tension of the muscles and everything. So yeah, it's quite a
Okay.
process.
Right. So like that's what I'm saying. So like how do you even get prepared for that? Like do you have to like go to the gym and practice yoga and then meditation and it's like you when you think about people like planking for hours like they have planking challenges and stuff like that, that's what I'm thinking about. But like how when you having somebody pose when you posing for somebody, like how do you prepare for that for a long period of time? I understand that certain subtle times when you get the rest of certain muscle group or body part, but when you don't have, but the part you are focusing on, how do you prepare for all that?
Well, it's my body. It's trained
Okay.
lifetime. So the preparation is not something you do, couple days before to get ready. The preparation is years of preparation, and that's why the body can actually pose that long. Endurance, it's not something you build just overnight. Of course, you can also rest in between and something like you get a cramp or something, and then you can relax and get back into poses.
Right. Okay. So basically, like I like that answer. The years of you being an acrobat, the yoga and stuff like that, the pose and so forth, where you are able to sustain that type of arduous task in posing for somebody
Mm.
and everything. Okay, I understand. So now let's go back a little bit, like before the modeling. How did you did which is a combination of where you are now to get to the modeling side of things, but how did that came to be where you became a yoga teacher? We can talk about the fitness training, but how you became a yoga, not an instructor, but just doing yoga and also doing the acrobats and stuff like that. How did that come to be?
Well, okay. First, it was the ballet. So
Ballet, and ballet, my bad.
from ballet, I transitioned to acrobatics. During when I was actually back at school for the ballet, one of my dance teacher introduced me to yoga, and she used yoga as a way for us to warm up before classes with the sun salutation. So yoga has always been part of my preparation for my body to start my day. And after that, I kept it. I kept all that routine to stretch before my shows always. Since like 14 years old, I was already like doing yoga just to prepare for ballet and then later on to prepare for acrobatics.
Yeah.
And then in one point, I really liked yoga itself and I really wanted to go deeper into the knowledge, actually the philosophy of it, the whole thing, not just the asanas and the stretching, but the actual like more spiritual part of it. So I decided to go to India, to Rishikesh, to the birthplace of yoga, and do my yoga teacher training there.
Okay.
I did my first training, the 200 hours, the Yoga Alliance training, and then the year later I went again there, and I did my 300 hours to be advanced. Yeah, I am really happy I managed to go to actually India to learn it from the roots, from because all the names in the yoga poses is all in Sanskrit language, and when you are there, actually people can explain you what are the real meanings of the poses and the
Right.
why of the names and the philosophy and everything is like it's not like let's say learning yoga in New York, you're like you're actually with Indian teachers and meditation teachers with real monks that are from the temples. Yeah, it's just another level to go. You
Yeah,
get to do yoga than to do
yeah,
a
I get,
training in the city. There's no internet. You're completely disconnected. Like you don't eat any meat. You're like eating vegan and like you're following all this like, rules like the yogis with waking up and meditating for 2 hours at sunrise and all this no food until after the meditation and
yeah.
no talking while eating and all this. So yeah, it's quite intense.
Yeah, I can see that is more on a deeper level other than the physical. It's more on a mindset and also spiritual type of way too as well with the yoga that you have done and something. I believe it takes all that when it comes to certain, especially in that field when you think about it and everything. Okay, so with everything that you for your beginnings and so forth. Yeah, like I say again, you have been able to travel with the modeling and so forth, and also too, it led you towards the acrobatics ballet and so forth. You say you have done circus competition or performances and have been on TV and in the theaters. Can you talk about those experiences? What was that like?
A lot of like different experience. Well, first of all, being transitioning from ballet to circus was quite a transition
Mm,
because first of all, it was a completely different experience for the body because in ballet you use your legs more
mm,
and not
okay.
your arms so much. Where in acrobatics it's reverse. You
Yeah.
need really strong arms and skinny legs because you're not really in aerial at least work. So I had to do a big shift of body composition to manage. The second big change was actually the mentality of the people. Like the ballet people and the circus people are so, so, so different in a good way. Like the circus people are way nicer. There's much less competition in the circus world. People are actually helpful and you can actually make friends in the circus world. The
Right.
ballet world is constant competition never stops even though after school still in the company it's a hard word, the ballet word.
Right.
Then well, the circus world is also a bit different because you have like circus families, so you have generations
Mm,
of artists that are like, oh, my aunt and my grand aunt and my grand 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 was also a clown and an acrobat, and so it's like when you don't come from that word, it's also not so easy to get accepted because you're not from a circus family. So yeah, it's very different.
Okay, yeah, I can see the circus being more of a familiar type of atmosphere, and it's more y'all doing it in a teamwork versus doing ballet, where it's mostly always competition unless you're doing something for a play and everything. But the process to get into that play is competition, and everything. I understand that. Uh, but the performing at the theaters and shows and stuff like that, like how I guess you don't did it in both fields. Like, what was that experience like, and being on TV
That's
and
all amazing. I loved all the TV appearance. Of course, I did both live TV and recorded TV, which
okay,
are completely different process, both interesting. And well, performing in theaters like let's say Paris Opera, it's something like it's historic. It's a
mm,
music. It's like it's a monument. It's not
okay,
even just a theater. So yeah, it's a lot of emotions when you get on a stage like that because you know how many generations of dancers have been on that stage and comes with history and with all this baggage of stories. I also have done big shows like in arenas with 20,000 people, which is a completely different mood. And um, but as amazing when you have that much people that clap for you. It's a lot of emotions.
Oh,
Yeah. So, like I said, I was quite fulfilled as an artist to be able to stop because I kind of been there, done it.
I get you. You know, something. I think that's the reason why I'm asking it too. It speaks to evolution because I think people think we just should be just one way doing one thing, and then that can get mundane. And then us as creators, we always constantly thinking about what can we do new, and you finding those ways or the ways finding you. You know, and you just going into that and becoming that is speaks volumes. And then, like I said, everything that you have been doing led up to the point for your new venture and everything. And creativity, you know, you just keep evolving, and from there, from your past experiences and stuff like that, and you bringing all that still with you. You don't never fully leave you. You always take a little bit of that with you to your next venture, and I think that speaks paramount to that. So now, before we get back into like the modeling stuff and so forth, and even your book and everything, but like for as ballet, for as acrobats, somebody who maybe you know, like we're gonna talk more about. I guess we can say more about the ballet part of that because it's dance and that's performing. Like how does one get into that? You know, I think of a lot of things where, and around here is not a lot of ballet stuff going on. You know, we have dance classes, but people getting into like classical dancing and so forth. There's not a lot of that going on around here. So like, how would you say one would get into ballet or even doing acrobats or however?
Well, first, yeah, you find a local school, like
Hmm.
a small school around your area, and say start there, like I did when I was little. And then that's how it happened to me. Like at one point, my ballet teacher told my parents that I had the skills to do that professionally, and that I should apply to a national ballet company. So yeah, that process is a bit harder because you need to audition as a kid
Okay.
to enter. And of course, it's like for me, it was far away. I was like 6 hours away from where my parents were. When you have the talent and you're able to join such a school, then comes the sacrifice from the parents to let you go. And as a kid to know that you're not gonna have your mom every day there to give you a kiss goodnight,
Mm.
and just being on your own. I was alone at um, 10 years old in Paris. There are sacrifices after, right? Like
Yeah.
you need to already travel a little because
Right.
the professional schools are not, unless you're already living in Paris or in New York or in London. Usually that professional school is not going to be close to your home.
That's why I say that because I'm here in the States for is Mississippi, and you don't hear anybody saying ballet. You know, you might hear
Right?
somebody.
CCP Ballet is good.
Is it okay?
Yeah. I don't know if they have the school though. Not sure. But the ballet is quite renowned.
Okay. I guess maybe ain't in that lane, so I'm not seeing it. You know, too much. All right. Well, I'm happy to hear that. You know, it's like Mississippi get a lot of bad flack for certain things, so happy to hear that and be surprised about that. So basically, you saying when it comes to ballet is more or it is more so doing starting young, or can somebody like maybe in their late teens or early 20s start, or how
The younger the better.
younger the better? Okay,
Well, there are some people that started like in their teams that made it professionally, but it's recommended to start as early as possible because
right.
then you can shape the body better. It's easier if you start younger. Not impossible if you start as a teen. I have seen beautiful dancers that actually started in their teens.
Okay. I look at my little niece and she have a very I don't know if it's gonna be dancing per se, but I know she seems like she got a knack for acrobats. If her mama just put her in it, you know. But I know that's a whole different tangent there. But I got you. Okay, so for as the modeling, let's go more into that. For as like your book and now we'll talk about your new book, but the first book, Feel. Like so what was how talk about that book and like thing is that similar to what we were talking about with the your newest book timeless? Is it in a similar
My
aspect?
newest book is Unseen.
Unseen. Okay. All right. Where I'm getting timeless that mixed up at? I seen something that said.
Timeless is my before somewhere in my third book.
Okay. It's okay. Okay. All right. So the first one was Field though.
Yes, the
Okay.
first one was Phil.
Okay.
It was a limited edition and it sold out, so it's not available anymore.
Okay. All right. So go ahead.
A book that features only one photographer, Kai York. It was actually shot in New York. All the photos from that book.
Okay. All right. So can you explain like what the I did see that name. And you said it sold out in the first month and everything like that. So I guess with those type of books, y'all was explain what was Feel about since people can't get the book anymore. And my second question is do those type of books not just get republished or get remade or anything like that? Or once you got a certain amount of copies, that's it? Or is that
Yeah, we decided that it would be a limited edition.
okay?
It Phil will not be reprinted. And Phil, as the title says, was about. I actually named the book because during that photo shoot, the photographer just kept repeating to me that word.
Mm,
He always the time was like, feel, 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 feel. And it became almost like a mantra. He was just like, feel, feel, feel. Feel. So that's the reason why I called the book Feel.
okay.
And
So is it like a book of emotions? You know, like you just showing different type of
yeah,
poses or something?
his task was to get as much emotion out of me as possible
Okay.
because actually the photo shoot that is featured in that book was kind of like when I started modeling. And like I said, I came from the artistic world, the ballet world, and it's a word where you perform, but when you perform, you choose the emotions you want to show, right? But you don't overexpress yourself, like you control what you want to show.
Right. Okay.
So I was a bit within myself when I started photography. I was not out there and just giving it away.
Yeah.
And that he saw that and he really tried to unlock me.
Right.
And it worked. Like after that photo shoot, it was a very special photo shoot for me. He really managed to get things out of me and I almost couldn't recognize myself on those photos. It was like another me.
Right. Okay.
So that's why I really wanted to print. And I made a book out of it. It meant a lot for me.
And that's the reason why I'm kind of going in the in line with that and stuff like that because those your humble beginnings, and then we get to to your third book. So the second book is what now? Is Unseen.
Well, we did Feel 2. We did the second part of it because Feel has been an amazing success.
Okay.
A lot of our followers requested us to shoot again and to create a second book.
Okay.
So we met again and we did this time a shoot outdoors in Spain and we called it Feel 2.
Okay.
And also it was more about connecting with nature and being in with the elements of earth, water, and all this.
Okay.
So it was a different mood, but same me and him. So the style was there.
Yeah.
But this time outdoor.
And this limited edition as well.
Yes, and this is the way that photographer wanted the books to be released, to be a one-time release, and that's it. So yes, no more.
Okay.
We only have my copy, and it's not for sale.
So I guess maybe somebody would be able to get the book on an auction or something like that.
That's what I said because many people ask, and I know some people bought multiple when copies when it was available. So I said, like, if you find someone on eBay selling one, that's the only way you can get one because it won't be reprinted.
Yeah.
Yeah, and after that, I decided to do my own book. My own book meaning me by 86 photographers. So
Okay.
not just one photographer, but and black and white photography only.
Right.
That's timeless. It's a Bible. It's like
Yeah, when you said 86 photographers, I said yeah, it's gonna be thick.
120 pages. It's almost 10 pounds. Like it's so heavy. It's huge.
Definitely.
um, and yeah, at the moment, I sold every copies I had. I am looking at printing if I get enough requests for it. So now I have a wait list for it. See that enough people applied, and I will probably reprint it.
Yeah, I did see that when you go to buy the book, it was, you said that it was sold out and you got a wait list for it and everything. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, third book in, so first two was with it was pretty much somebody else's project and you were just being the muse for it in a sense. And now you doing on your own. So you kind of got your feet wet, you know the game. Now you're doing your third book and doing your third book and then it's on your own. So that speaks to the entrepreneur field in you and everything. So talk about that. Like, what made you say, okay, I'm gonna do my own thing. I'm gonna do it this way. Have these 86 photographers. We're gonna make a Bible out of it. Like, what made you, transition to that?
Yeah, I felt like, scrolling and posting every day on Instagram and it's fun, but artistically it really didn't fulfill me. And I felt like there was so much more to those photos. Like those photos were on a level that should be printed. They should not just be on a digital screen. The size, they should be bigger, they should be printed, they should be put in a certain order that makes sense, not being seen in the middle of an Instagram feed with, family cat videos in between. So that's where it came to me, like really, it's like those, I need to print. And I had a lot of black and white photo lovers, so I decided to do a black and white photo book.
Okay. Go ahead. My bad.
That's timeless. Timeless is my baby.
Yeah, and that speaks to the black and white because you think about all the shows and movies that were done in black and white back in the day. So those are time capsules.
It's timeless. It's art.
So yeah, so that was gonna be my question. Like, what made you not for the title that I can definitely see it already, but like why black and white photos? Like what's the importance of going in black and white photos, and especially in a time like this in 2025 where people love color and very high definition.
Yeah, a lot of photographers say that the color is disturbing the eye. So when you go black and white, you're really focusing more on the posing and on the shadows. There's less distraction for the eye when a color photograph is in black and white. Okay. Apparently, the brain is coding it differently. Less disturbance, is less things to process.
But okay, I can see that. Okay, is the process any much easier doing it in black and white than it is in color?
It's different. It's different. Technically, it's different. For printing, it's different for preparing files. And even though you may think, oh, it's everything the same is black and white, but the tones of grays, there are a million tones of grays.
Right.
And you still have to be careful how the pictures are laid out one after another, because some are just, you see, they're not fitting with each other when they are next to each other. Even though they are black and whites, they are not in the same gray tones.
Okay. You would think, that it, like when you print out stuff, color takes a lot more, paper or, a lot more ink and everything than it does black and white. So that's why I was asking that. But I guess the contrast got to fit and it got to make sure the message is there and everything. It got to look good on photocopy paper as well. I can see that too, so with you starting doing your own thing for us, your doing your book, like what made you want to do it on your own and you had the experience doing a book with somebody else, but what made you like want to do your own book?
Yeah, like just to have the artistic freedom of choosing like the layout of it, the paper, the cover, like all the decisions were my decisions.
Okay.
And I did all of it. I laid out all of it. I produced it and I sold it, marketed everything.
Okay. And was the I'll go back to my other question, but was that a hard process doing everything yourself?
Yeah, it was a process, but it was interesting process. I learned a lot
Mm,
in the process, taking small decisions, being asked questions by my print shop about things I've never heard of or
mm.
never even knew they existed, settings and things. So yeah, I've learned a lot about the printing business and about publishing.
Okay. And I have been asked a few times, like, do I want to write my own book? Like I said that would be something I want to do, especially with the field, the niche that I'm going into now, working, helping and working with artists and entertainers. I definitely see the play there, but it's not, something I want to do right now. But with you going into it, you seeing how everything transpired doing it on your own, do you see yourself doing another book? And then part two of that would be, what do you think you will go do everything yourself with it being your own book? Like you might have certain things that you delegate to others and stuff like this your next go round if you decide to do another book.
Well, I just did now, and I did
Okay.
a fourth book with
Okay.
Pepper, and then Unseen is my fifth book.
Okay. Okay.
So Unseen again, I have done it on my own,
Okay.
and this is available.
Okay.
It's still available. I don't know for
Okay.
long, but so
Okay.
it is available. And I don't know if I would delegate. Maybe I would. I have a really good graphic designer with me, which is kind of he's in part of the team of two.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, I'm really happy with him. That's the only person really you need a good graphic designer, not just designer, like someone which knows about book layout and yeah, it's just a different word because not
Yeah.
every graphic designer know how to prepare a print file, for
Yeah.
example. Something
Okay.
you think it would be obvious, but it's not.
Okay. Go ahead. My bad. Go ahead. What?
It depends if you want to do print on demand or you want to print up front. And those are different processes where you can then, yeah, it's a different process to budget.
Mm.
It's a different sales process too.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like for the marketing side, you might want to have somebody marketing, but as you said 2 man is good for you. Okay. So
I mean, I
looking.
always use a good marketing manager. You never say no to that.
Okay. 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 So a couple things, but for the most part, it's all you.
Yeah, so far I do my
Okay.
marketing.
Okay. Gotcha. With me, certain things like for as making like music and so forth. Like I said, I haven't recorded anything yet. The songs I got, somebody asked me, okay, well, do you want to just do all the recording and everything at your house and stuff like that? Like, nah, because and I would rather go into the studio first and
Mm.
we're working with an engineer and everything to learn the ropes and everything. Then later on, once I know what, because I don't know what I don't know. So once I
Exactly.
get into that, then I can maybe venture out, like getting my own home studio and stuff like that. And then, like I said, do I want to do all that work? It just depends. So I once I get into it more, I know my lane and everything. Once I get into it. So, but
That's
cool. So
and stay curious in the process because
yeah,
that's how you're gonna learn. Ask a lot of why question and just learn. Be curious.
right, yeah. So you want to, and two, I think it's also good that outside of yourself, you liking what you putting out there and doing. That's first and foremost, and it should be that way. But somebody outside of you giving you their opinion and everything that can help you make it better, and being open to that.
So important. Of course, when I did my books, I did consult with a few friends which were good like photographers that are good
Mhm.
friends, and I did ask for their opinion before I printed. Like if they had anything like to put into it.
Yeah. So that's why I said that goes a long way, and everything as well. So that's why I said an engineer definitely got a trained ear so they can be able to hear certain things and say, do it this way or speak it in this manner or something like that to make it even pop even more. Once I know those nuances, then I can say maybe I can do my own thing later on because I would like to make my own beats and stuff like that too as well. Eventually, but so that's all the process. But now with that said, for is you, what I said was really interesting with when we was doing the pre-interview was that I never heard of a model doing a photo book, and so forth. So, and that you always see them just in print magazines or something like that or whatever, but never their own self-titled book or something like that. Tell me why is that for is models not doing that more, and what made you think to do that? Was it when your first, beginnings with the first two books, or what made you think to even like do that?
Yeah, you're right. Photographers are releasing books, the books. And it's very, very rare that a model is releasing a book. I think the only ones that did is Naomi Campbell and Claudia Schiffer and Heidi Klum.
Heidi
Because
Klum.
they have a book of their lifetime work. Of course, it's produced by a massive publishing company.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are like few girls that have been world class models that have books. Yeah, I don't know why models are not publishing books, but for me, I don't know the why. For me, in one point, it was like a need. It was like I said, I had enough of just having digital photos on my phone.
Yeah.
And of course, I also sell like fine art prints, like big formats for wall art. But it's not so practical. Not everybody can have wall art in their apartments or houses. Right. So yeah, a book is something a bit more easy to handle and for everybody to have. Also, I remember when I did my first book, my one photographer told me, be careful about the photo selection. Because once something is printed, it's gone. Like once I die, that book stays. It's a legacy of my work, which it's something that is going to stay. You don't know, books travel, right? They stay in libraries. They are given from generation to generations. So once a book is out there, you don't know who may have their hands on it. So you have to be really careful with what you print.
And I think that this goes to when you in the public eye anyway, when you kind of a public figure. So you really just gotta just think about what you're putting out there, who's seeing it, family wise, because you thinking it's just about you, but nah, it's also people tied to you that it affects as well and everything. So I guess that's in a sense what he was saying.
Other people, like I'm gonna be very honest with the type of photography that I do. You have to care less about what people think. Generally in life, you shouldn't really care about people think because it's not, you would not do anything. But when it comes to do a book, that's the last thing I thought about. Like, I don't care what people think. I did what I felt needed to be done.
Okay. Okay, I understand that, and in regards to what was like, okay, then what would you say his reasoning was when he said that to you? For is be careful because it's gonna be out there and everything.
Meaning selecting really my best work, right?
Okay.
Like being really careful about the selection.
Okay. All right. So that making sure you putting out true, authentic, and great work, basically.
Like what I think is like the best.
Yeah. Putting your Michelangelo, Picasso type thing out there, so to speak.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, with it being on print, do you do digital copies of this as well? No. Okay.
That's the whole point. Because there's millions online.
Okay.
There's no PDF version.
Okay, I got you. All right, and then, but like you said, now the book in question is the one we talking about is unseen, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's unseen. All right, so tell us a little bit about more unseen. So we heard of Field 1 and 2 and Timeless. What is unseen about?
Unseen, as the title says, it's only photos that have never been published.
Okay.
So there are photos that I have kept aside
Yeah.
that have never made it to social media.
Okay.
And they never made it because one, they would not go through what is allowed
Yeah.
on social
Talk
media.
about
Yeah,
exactly.
and two, they didn't make it because they deserve more than just being published on social media.
Yeah.
So they deserve to be printed. They deserve to be put in the right settings, setting to be seen. That's why unseen. And again, the why is again to print and to have, because if you go back to photography before, until a photo was not printed, it was not a photo. Like it was a roll, and until you
Yeah.
did, print it, you didn't know what you got.
Okay. So
So
you grew up around my time then. Okay. So that
like,
and
yeah,
like
like
I never did ask your age or whatever. So I
yeah, I did have the click,
okay.
and then you had the 12, 24, 36, and then it
Yeah.
was finished, and yeah, you had to wait to develop and see what it was. Yeah, it's just going back to that, to the real photography. The real photography only exists, once it's printed. So
Right.
that's why Unseen is, again, there is no PDF version.
Mm.
It's featuring this time 56 photographers, and it's both. It's color and it's black and white. It's a mix. So it goes from outdoor photography with nature to locations, and then it goes to studio. So you get all kind of lighting, like natural light, flash, continuous light, light painting, and all kind of photographies. Really, I tried to combine as many gender of photography as possible. That book,
Okay.
as much as I have done, at least all kind of, like, also different styling and body painting, special makeups,
Mm.
gel lighting, and all the kind of techniques you can imagine.
Right. So basically, compilation of so to speak, lost files, unreleased photos of you and so forth. So is it like stuff that you done in the past, or have you also did produce new stuff to put in there that wasn't seen as well?
Yeah, I have. I think it's 8 photos in there that have never been seen by anybody else than me and
Mm.
photographer. So they are very, very exclusive to the book.
Okay. Okay. And this one not sold out yet. This is still or is it this got does it have a re producing it, or is it
Reprinting?
a
I
reprinting? Yeah.
don't know yet. I will see.
Okay.
So far, I think it's a limited edition, but I
Okay.
don't know yet of how many it's going to be.
Okay. You haven't got is not out yet.
It is out. It's
Okay.
already shipped to 21 countries.
21 country. Okay. All right. So so is it sold out yet?
No, it's
Okay.
available.
All right. Okay. Cool. So I did letting the audience know somebody might want to get the book. They got.
I don't know when it's gonna run out.
Since the other three is like you only can talk about it now unless you know somebody that got the book, and everything. So I like they have that. Okay. So basically like tell me you have traveled a lot, of course, with the modeling and everything. These past 7 to 8 years and so forth. You've seen a lot of things, done a lot of things. So how do you stay mentally ready for it all? How do you stay physically ready for it all? Like what is your routine like and everything dealing, doing this on a day to day for as you on the entrepreneur side, making your book and just being a model full time, doing your own thing. Cause I can think about me as a fitness trainer doing so many, things. I'm a one man show right now. So it can be a lot sometimes and everything. So how do you stay sane and, stay fit and all this stuff like that?
Oh, okay, like my basic, let's say, morning routine. I start with journaling and gratitude. I have a
Okay.
gratitude journal, and I write 3 things I'm grateful for in the morning. And then I do breath work a bit
Okay.
in the morning. I drink a huge glass of water when I wake up. And then I drink my ginger, lemon, and honey tea.
Okay.
This is like, I think, the one thing which, like, I'm never sick ever.
Yeah.
I think this is the why. I've been drinking
Okay.
that every single morning for, I don't know, 20 years more.
Okay.
Um, and then after that, I do either a walk or if I depends where I am in the world, if it's like safe to walk around where I am, or or I do a workout at my house or in my hotel room. Some like a 15-20 minutes. I'll call that a conditioning. It will be mostly abs, at back, a bit of push-ups, like just an overall um, body conditioning just to keep everything tight and in shape. And that's like my minimum. And then, of course, a 10-15 minute stretch, the flexibility.
Yes. Okay. All
That's,
right. So is this a routine that? My bad. Go ahead.
yeah. That's like, it takes about an hour and a half.
Okay. All right. So is this a routine that you just do while you stationary, meaning like you at home, or is it always something you can do on the go?
I don't need a gym to stay in shape.
Mhm.
I have
Okay.
full of elastics I travel with to add resistance, but all my workout is with my own body. I do planks, I do push-ups, I do all kind of things. I don't need any equipment really.
And
Bridge.
I'm glad you mentioned that because that's some of the things some certain fields, some people, they might need a gym depending on who the person in the situation, but not everybody, and everything, is especially when you're on the road a lot. I always try to tell you, you can definitely use your own body. Your body is a gym itself.
Yeah,
It's just about how you dedicate your time to getting it done and so forth around your schedule and everything like that. So that speaks to that.
actually,
And
your body, when you work with your own weight, your muscles are growing proportionally to your size, like,
mm,
and they look very how to say, aesthetically, like,
fitting,
uh,
fit,
when you add like a dumbbell, or you add like extra weight, and you're like pumping, let's say, that biceps or like that
mm,
triceps, and suddenly you have like, it's not like
I
proportion
get
to your body. Yeah.
right.
So I prefer to do like pull-ups and push-ups than actually like lifting weights.
Okay. All right. So, and I get you.
If I do squats, I use my own body weight on my legs without really adding anything. It's fine. I don't need to have, steps.
Right. Yeah, and that's why I was saying it just depends on the person, like what that look
Yeah,
is.
it's of the
Aesthetic.
goal, of course, but
Say again.
it depends of the goal.
Yeah, definitely, most definitely. Like, and for most models that want, depending on the look, and everything, and then with you being on your own, you get to define what your look should be and what you want to put out there. But but with somebody who's already in an agency or something like that, it's whatever the look that they agency want them to have. So
Mm,
that's another thing too.
yeah.
And everything. Have you thought about doing anything outside of like otherwise that would not for an agency or anything, but anything different that you haven't been doing in your modeling career right now?
Oh yeah, I started actually. I have two projects now that are not involving my body for once in my life. Now I am coaching aspiring models
Okay.
to learn how to be a freelance model. So I teach them about communication, about branding, about marketing, all this business side of the modeling that really nobody is really teaching.
Right.
It's like, so I've been through it. So I have the experience now to teach that, and
Mm.
I have quite a few girls that I'm helping.
Okay.
So that's one thing. And then also I have started kind of motivational businesswoman Instagram page. So this is more like a broad, it's mainly woman of any kind of woman, not doesn't have to be a model or an artist or
Mhm.
any woman. So it's more like an inspirational type of page where I
Okay.
teach also about social media marketing and how to monetize traffic, like social media traffic and views and
Okay. Yeah. And I feel you on that where you say nobody teaching it. As you know, being a fitness trainer yourself and so forth, uh, they don't really teach us how to be a trainer. They just really teach us how not to get sued. You know what I'm saying?
Have a good insurance.
Right. Yeah. That's it. Maybe a couple of ways to train, but they don't really teach you how to get a person to a result or anything like that. And so especially when you get the certification and stuff like that, they basically want you to have practical knowledge already. And you would be, I don't know if you have gotten people like who starting out into being a fitness trainer and they don't really know what to do. It don't, like I said, the certificate don't tell you anything about that, and they really don't know how to train anybody. It just, like I said, it just tell you how to do certain moves and stuff like that, but they don't tell you how to, and everything. I think that's a field some that a lot of folks that they ain't doing, training them trainers how to be trainer. I think that's a field that I don't know if I want to go down that road, but I have gotten a guy wanting me to mentor. I had mentor one time, but I don't know if that's something I would want to do. But it may be in the future. But yeah, that speaks to what you were saying and everything like that. Because I can think about when models, you think of somebody where I look good, you know what I'm saying? I take good pictures. How hard could it be? And then when they get into it,
This is not that easy.
right.
It's not that
Yeah. So I commend you on that and everything. So do you do that in person or is it also online?
I did give a couple of in-person posing classes because, of course, posing is part of the modeling. Photographers will book you more if you are good at posing. So it's a skill that needs to be also trained.
Right. Okay.
Mhm.
So that more so there's a skill that need to be trained in person or it can be
It doesn't have to be in person. It just
okay.
happened to be that I was in person with those people and
Okay.
they
Okay.
asked me, and we were in the same city in the same moment, and I did in person. But it
Okay.
doesn't have to be in person.
Okay. Is it any similarities that you are seeing since you were a yoga instructor and fitness trainer into the space that you're teaching in now? Do you see any similarities in that or is it completely different or what?
Posing, posing for photos is a different story
Mm,
than dancing or than doing your own yoga, or because posing for photography is more about understanding the angle of the photographer, the height of the photographer, understanding the light, where the light is placed, how it's hitting on your body, understanding which lens the photographer is using. Um, yeah. So yeah, it's completely different.
right.
You can be an amazing dancer or an amazing yogi and have best poses in the world, but if you don't understand the aspects of photography, you may look terrible on a photo. Because, like, for example, to pose ballet for photos, you actually have to do wrong ballet. You have to, yeah, it's true. You have to put your feet in the wrong way so it looks good on the photo. You have to
Okay.
cheat it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, so yeah, that's the things I teach when I teach posing too, because it's not just about doing a beautiful pose; it's about understanding the whole picture of how that pose is going to be captured.
So the behind the scenes people don't see or really think
When you
about.
start photography, you have no clue about all of that.
Okay.
You kind of learn it as you on the go, but of course,
Mm,
if you can know those things, the
mhm.
faster you know them, the better.
Okay. Okay. All right, cool. Now, is there anything that we haven't covered or talked about that you would like to discuss and everything?
Well, for the people that may enjoy my photography and would like to see more of it, more behind the scenes, more like one-on-one chatting, or have a closer access to me, I have also a Patreon where I have a lot of my fans there that are
No.
so
Community?
art, and we have a really nice community there of photo lovers and just art supporting. And
Okay.
I am able to share much more there, like full on behind the scenes, like 30 minutes, 20 minutes videos with like where you hear me talking and photographer talking, and we are like, it's not just like a 10-second reel type of behind the scene, like it's more in depth, so you can understand the process and how the photos are actually taken.
Yeah. Okay, I understand. Um, so, like, can you explain that a little bit more? Like, how does the community feel in there? Like, what can they expect? Like being in your Patreon, other than the I would say, you say you speaking on a little more. I guess you are you teaching in that too as well for what you are already doing, or teaching models and stuff like that, or
Educational. If you watch like a full on behind the scene, it is educational. You see the photographer moving the lights, you see me changing my poses, you hear him how he's directing me. So it can be educational if you pay attention to what is been said. But yeah, the community, we have a group chat, one-on-one chats, and I share almost every day. I share new exclusive photos, videos.
okay, it is more like for like fans, or it is also like for aspiring models that's like for this Patreon and so forth.
I have a bit of both. I have more fans, but sometimes some models, they do subscribe to also understand how I'm posing.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. All right. Cool. So is anything else that we haven't talked about you want to discuss?
I think we pretty much went around.
Say what now?
Yeah, I think we've
You're pretty good.
yeah.
Okay. Cool. So out of all this, then what would you say? What would out of everything that we talked about today, of what you've been doing throughout your life, starting from your humble beginnings in ballet, acrobatics, and yoga, and so forth, and all the way up to you becoming a model, doing your own thing, and that, and everything else in between. What would you say to the audience listening to this? What would be the biggest takeaway they can take from this?
Follow your heart and your passions. If you're able like to fulfill them and make a living out of it, go for it.
Okay, I like that. All right, and is it anything else like that you think they should learn about modeling, or before they get into modeling, or while they in the trenches in modeling and everything?
When it comes to freelance modeling, I would say yes, the most important decision will be the choice of your photographers. At the beginning, it's the most important thing, because that's how you start building your network. And if you start building your network in the wrong way at the beginning, it's gonna snowball in the really wrong direction.
Okay, I
So the
got you.
choice of your photographer is the number one.
Okay, cool. Great information, especially if somebody getting out on their own and doing this. And like I said, I
Do
don't
your
hear a lot.
do your research.
Do your research.
Yes, don't just
Okay.
shoot with the first better guy that has a camera.
Okay, definitely.
They say
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You definitely hear those stories where they say, "Oh, I can have you in my photo shoot," or something like that, and then they get taken advantage of and everything like that. That's great information. Okay. And
always contact other models which are tagged on his account, ask how did it go. I always write, if I don't know somebody, I write to at least 5, 6 girls that are tagged. Because the fact that the girls are tagged does not mean that the photo shoot went well. There may be side stories that those models can tell you happened while creating those photos. So very important to do your own research.
Okay, cool. All right, so we can end it there. So with that said, before we get out of here, let everybody know once again where they can find out more about you, see your work, and get their hands on that newest book, Unseen. Tell everybody where they can find everything at.
Oh yeah, my website, LaetitiaModel.com, and Unseen is in my shop on the website. It's the first item, and I'm on social media, Instagram, Laetitia Channel Model. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay. All right, cool. All right. So y'all make sure to follow Laetitia and get that Unseen book. Let's get this sold out as well. And everything, while and get it while supplies last. Say again.
It's going to be sold out after this podcast.
Definitely. From your ears to God, let's get it. Let's get it cracking. All right. So, from your lips to God, I should say. All right. But all right. Till next time, man. We out. All right. Holla at y'all. Thank you for tuning in to this episode. If you enjoyed it, be sure to follow us on social media and subscribe to the show wherever you listen to podcasts so you never miss an episode. If you're looking for fitness coaching to help you reach your goals, want to join our animated network for fitness guidance, collaborations, networking, and community, or are interested in being a guest on the show, check out the links in the description. Stay creative, stay fit, and we'll holler at you next time.